had a lot of potential, but unfortunately for me, it fell flat. In this book review, I'm going to be reading Our Infinite Fates by Laura Steven. I'll be updating you with my thoughts as I'm reading the book, so at different portions of this book, I'll let you know what I'm thinking, and at the end, we'll talk about this book as a whole and give it a rating. So let's get started for it, but it just felt like kind of like, what? Like when I read it, there's something about it that just feels a bit disconnected, I guess, from the characters. I'm not liking this book as much as I really wanted to. I feel like I'm being told stuff more than I'm actually seeing stuff. And like, it's almost the end of the book and still nothing has really happened. I think it just was focusing on the wrong part. Our Infinite Fates. What a beautiful name, honestly. Like, I love everything about like this cover. I love the name. I love the part that's like, they've loved each other in 1,000 lifetimes and they've killed each other in each one. Like, this is speaking my language, 100%. I am very excited. So obviously I have really high expectations for this book because it just combines a lot of my favorite things, which is like reincarnation, but characters still remember all of their past lives, romance, and a little bit of, what's going on? Time travel-y-esque style in it. And so I think that it's gonna just be really, really cool. I'm really, really excited for it. It's gonna be good. So from my understanding, Our Infinite Fates follows our main character, Evelyn, and she remembers every single one of her reincarnations. She's only ever lived up until the age of 18 before she's killed by this guy who, I think he's like a demon, but whatever he is basically bound to her soul. And so he constantly kills her, but they're also always falling in love with each other. In this reincarnation, she has a sister and she really loves the life that she's living. She's like, I'm not gonna let this guy kill me again. I like my life. This is not happening. And then she's also like, I also don't want to fall in love with him. I need to break the curse. She wants to break the curse, and that's kind of like her ultimate goal. And so I think it's really cool. It reminds me of the show 7th Time Loop, where she's constantly like being reincarnated. She's learning a bunch of things, but then she ends up dying in every single one of them. And so in her newest reincarnation, she's like, okay, I need to figure this out. Like, I do not want to keep dying all the time. And so, yeah, it's really speaking my language. It sounds really good. I really hope that it lives up to the expectations that I've set, because my expectations are very, very high because I just love this kind of story. So yeah, without further ado, let's crack this book right open. Oh, but wait, we know the drill. This has a dust cover and that needs to come off before I read because I absolutely hate dust covers. I wish that they didn't exist, to be honest. I just hate them so much. But yeah, if I had to guess, I would say underneath this book is gonna be light blue, maybe with like a black spine, or it's gonna be reversed. It's gonna be black with like a light blue spine. And then of course, this is going to have like that book of the month stamp. So it's gonna have the March 2025 stamp on it. So let's see if I'm right. Oh, it does not look like I'm right. I just saw it. I was not right at all. Why is it yellow? Really? Huh. Can't say I'm a fan of it not matching the cover there, but it is yellow. So yeah, let's read this book for real now. So I'm now a little bit more than 100 pages into Our Infinite Fates, and here are my thoughts so far. I'm interested in like where this story is going to go. I don't think I'm the biggest fan of the writing though, to be honest. Like, I don't know, there's something about it that just feels a bit disconnected, I guess, from the characters. But what I really do enjoy is being able to see all the different lives that these characters had. So we have Evelyn, who's kind of like our main narrator character, and it starts off with like her getting married and then dying, and then somewhere else now she has a different kind of like life, and then she gets murdered, and then she wakes up and she has a different life, and she has to basically live 18 years, but then she's always killed before she turns 18, and she's always killed by the love of her life, Arden, and he always has to kill her, or she kills him sometimes, but whoever dies, the other person dies immediately after as well, and they're like soul bound like that. And so Arden knows why, but Evelyn doesn't. And Evelyn keeps on trying to figure out why, like, does he hate her? No, but he loves her, like, all of this stuff. And so it's interesting because he definitely made some kind of deal. And there's like this one kind of like scene where there was like this woman who had kind of appeared, and Evelyn's like, who are you? And then like, she's like, this has gone on long enough. And it's like, what has gone on long enough? Like, what is going on? Why are they constantly being reincarnated? And they don't remember anything until they're about like 4, 8 years old-ish, and then they remember their past lives. And then it's basically just Evelyn being on high alert about like, okay, am I about to get murdered now? Like, and then as it gets closer and closer to the 18th birthday, she knows that Arden is going to be there. There's some other timelines where it's like she and Arden are like childhood best friends and they fall in love and they get to hang out this whole entire time. But then other times where she doesn't know which person he is, and he'll kill her without her even realizing that he was that character all along. So yeah, definitely an interesting premise. And so right now the story is taking place in Wales, and so this has been like hundreds and hundreds of reincarnations because Evelyn and Arden have lived through a lot of different lifetimes. They only live up to 18 years old, and then they're killed and then survive another 18. So you can do the math. It's a very, very long time from no technology to technology and all of this stuff. And so what is interesting is that Evelyn really loves the life that she has right now. She's always loved all of the lives that she's had, and she mourns the loss of every single family that she had, every parent, every grandparent, every sibling. But this life in particular, she does not want to let it go because she just really, really loves her little sister Gracie. But her little sister Gracie has been diagnosed with leukemia, and the only person who can give like the proper stem cells is Evelyn. However, Evelyn's gonna turn 18 before she can complete the stem cell kind of like transfer thing that she has to do, and so there's no other donors around. And so Evelyn's like, we need to like figure this out. Like, she doesn't know where Arden is, she hasn't seen Arden yet, but her birthday's coming up, and she's like, okay, I need to figure this out because like I cannot let Gracie die. And that's kind of where we're at right now. So yeah, definitely lots of really interesting things going on. I think that the book is really going to start to pick up now that certain events have happened, and I'm excited to see where it goes. There's this really cute kind of story where, so Arden is like a poet, and so he had always written all these poems about Evelyn that he'd never shared with her, but then he ended up like losing his book when they lived in Russia together, and it had been found by some archaeologists, and it was just published in this timeline, and it's like 10,000 years of loving you or something, and it's really cute and sweet. And so you just gotta read the poems and stuff, and a love that spans multiple lives is pretty cool. So yeah, I'm gonna continue to read, and I'll update you around the halfway mark, so I will see you then. So I'm definitely more than halfway through Our Infinite Fates, and I'm not liking this book as much as I really wanted to. I think what I'm not enjoying really about the book is that it's really, really slow, and it's like kind of boring at times. Like, I really like the flashback scenes, but there's just something missing. I feel like I'm not actually there. I feel like I'm being told stuff more than I'm actually seeing stuff, which is unfortunately the way I feel about this entire book. Like, I don't really care too much about the main story. We're always told about all these really great things that are happening between the sisters and the families and like what it used to be, but we've never actually seen any of that stuff. And so it's just like, I'm not really invested. So yeah, I think that's the part that I'm like really struggling with this book. And like, it's almost the end of the book and still nothing has really happened. Like, we get some flashbacks, but we're getting no closer to figuring out like, why do they keep dying and kind of getting reincarnated and stuff. Like, I think I would be more interested in seeing her finally being like, okay, we need to figure this out and like what's going on. And so having the two characters like team up and kind of dig into it and try and figure out like what is going on, how did this happen, instead of just like the guy not saying anything about it. And I'm sure there's a reason behind that, but it's just like, just communicate with each other. Like, I just want to know this kind of stuff, and that's the stuff that I find is missing, and that's the stuff that I was kind of hoping that I would see a little bit more in this book. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with this book. Who knows, maybe like when the book is done, I'll be like, oh, that makes sense why all these certain decisions were made throughout the book. So we'll see, but so far it's not meeting the expectations that I had for it. although obviously I had really high expectations, but we'll see, because maybe the ending will surprise me. So yeah, I'll see you when I finish this book. So I finished Our Infinite Fates, and yeah, the book was not what I hoped it would be, unfortunately. I think that it focused on the wrong things, and what I mean by that, and without spoiling anything, is that it was telling us a lot about this really great, amazing love story between Evelyn and Arden, but we never actually really see it. We see like kind of small moments when we get like a flashback time, but I would have loved to see their start with their origin story and make it them enemies to lovers, and then show that plot twist towards the end with the scene in Greece, and then the final epilogue. I think that would have been such a really, that would have been a fascinating read, because it's like you're gonna see them go from hating each other to loving each other, and then you'll see just like how their love came to be and how they've changed their perspectives about each other. And then yeah, I think that would have been a better read. I think it just was focusing on the wrong parts. Like, I was not invested in Evelyn's life in 2022, to be honest. Like, I was like, okay, like, why is it so slow? What is going on? And then to me, the big plot reveal thing, I felt was a little lame, I guess. Like, there was definitely some foreshadowing for it, but it just felt like kind of like, what? Like, when I read it. So it wasn't really for me, but I think like it would have been really cool if the book was structured a little bit differently. Because don't get me wrong, there's some really fun parts to this book. There's some really nice like poetry to it. There's some lyrical prose in it. And just like seeing the characters in a bunch of different timelines, I thought was really cool. But the other parts of the book just like kind of fell flat, which is like hard, because there's parts that I'm like, yes, I really like this, but then there's other parts where I'm like, oh, I don't like this. So it was like a constant battle back and forth, where I was like, I like this, now I don't like this, I like this, now I don't like this. So I was just like, so like, yeah. So yeah, not really what I expected it to be, but I mean, it is a very pretty cover, but yeah, that's where we're at. So today we are going to be awarding Our Infinite Fates a total of 3 stars. I want to give it like a low 3 stars, but it's still 3 stars. If you get what I mean, it's like a low 3 stars, which you would be like, oh, like that's like a high 2. It's not a high 2, it's a low 3. So yeah, it's a low 3 stars. I think that it had a lot of potential, but I think that it missed the mark in what it could have been. And I would have liked to see it maybe focus on more aspects of like actually showing us their love story, actually showing us like how they got to know each other, and like then have that big reveal towards the end. I think that would have been more satisfying of a read and more like captivating, because there are times where the writing was like really repetitive, and yeah, it wasn't for me. I mean, maybe it's for you, but just for me, the book could have been structured a lot better. So the next book that I'm going to be reading is Sunrise on the Reaping by Susan Collins. This is the prequel to the Hunger Games series, where it is Haymitch's story, and Haymitch was always one of my favorite characters. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this book, and I feel like I'm gonna have to reread the Hunger Games because it's been a really long time since I read it. So if you're interested in watching me read Sunrise on the Reaping or any other book that happens to be on my Never End TBR, definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and turn on the bell notification. That way you get notified anytime a new video comes out. If you enjoyed this video, definitely hit the like button. And pretty cool, I'm a YouTube partner, so what that means for you is that you can become a member of the I'm Talking Waffles channel. All proceeds go towards me getting more books and reading them on this channel, that we can just like, you know, enjoy books together. All the information for this is in the description to this video, so definitely check that out. There's a bunch of different tiers and really cool perks for you, and you specifically. So yeah, with that, I'm gonna wish you warm wishes and fish kisses, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!